And we are live. Welcome, Crypto Warriors, to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 809. Today is Monday, October 4th, 2021, and I'm your host, Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish. So let's jump into our stories for today. I have some great news stories for you. Bitcoin will be currency in Brazil soon, says federal rep Ario Ribeiro. Bitcoin gets stronger despite government crackdowns, says Edward Snowden. And last but not least, El Salvador introduces fuel subsidy of 20 cents per gallon to locals who pay in Bitcoin. So we'll jump into those stories in a second. But first, let's jump into our first prices here. Let's see, make sure I can bring this up for us today. Get some market updates for you. Bitcoin is at $48,029, up 0.02%, kind of flat this weekend. Ethereum at $3,387 is down 1.2%. Binance Coin at $425 is down 1%. Cardano sliding out of that number 3 spot down to number 4 at 221 is down 3.2%. Solana sitting at $171 is down 3.2% today. XRP at 104 is actually down 3% today as well. Polkadot sitting at 31.29 is down 3.5%. And Dogecoin at 22 cents is actually up 3.1% today. So our coins for most of this weekend have been flat. Bitcoin as well. We all know whatever Bitcoin does, usually that leads the altcoin run. So a little bit flat this weekend, no real activity. And for most people who are kind of scared out of the market, no reason to be. It's still early. So let's jump into our comments for today. Let's see, Todd Make, what's going on, brother? Bijan M, what's up? What's up? Leroy Forbes, Eric Horton, Kadeem, hey, what's going on, fam? Easy Double, Sergeant Mac, Christian Noel, what's up? What's up? DC, what's going on? What's going on? Let's see, Jiu-Jitsu, Satoshi Slim, Chappie, everybody, Fanteezy, Geechee. Oh yeah, everybody rolling in. Make sure you hit that like button when you're coming in. Pay that like tax. We don't ask for much. We don't ask for anything really, but pay that like tax. I appreciate it. And let's see who else. We got a lot more coming in. Credit K, Lawrence Sanders. Good morning, Warriors. Good morning. Happy Monday. And we got some great news, especially at this point in our history in Bitcoin. We have countries adopting Bitcoin at this point. So I love the fact that this is becoming a regular thing. And our first story for today, Bitcoin will be currency in Brazil soon. This is from a federal representative, Ario Ribeiro. He says a bill that regulates Bitcoin should go to the plenary of the Chamber of Deputies in the next few days. This is great. I mean, we've seen El Salvador, we've seen Uruguay talking about it, Paraguay, we've seen Cuba floating the idea, and now we see Brazil is saying that it will be a currency soon. He's very confident in the way he says it. He said in an interview that Brazilians will be able to buy houses, cars, and even McDonald's with Bitcoin after approval of this law, which will happen soon. And I know most people are watching like, I'm not spending my Bitcoin, but we are in a relatively, I would say, spoiled economy where we don't see hyperinflation. It doesn't even cross our mind that our dollar would just go to shit overnight. But in a lot of countries, this is a reality. So Bitcoin isn't that bad of an alternative. And at the very least, it could be an alternative, but at most, it could be a full currency. So shout out to El Salvador, shout out to Brazil. And the Brazilian deputy is happy with approval of Bitcoin law, and end of cryptocurrency pyramids are imminent. So they're trying to, I guess, clean out the trash, get out the crypto companies that are sort of doing the scams and getting people into these little Ponzi schemes, and trying to usher in a new era where Bitcoin is a standard as a currency. And I don't blame them for that. Of course, government oversight is not big for us, but if you're going to do it, this is the first iteration of it being, pushed into a country. If you're going to do it, you do kind of want to get out the scams just so people don't think something is Bitcoin. For example, I would say getting Bitcoin Cash off of every exchange would be a good start for most of these new countries. Don't let people get confused with Bitcoin Cash. That shit is garbage. Let's look at this quote here. He says, we debated a few years there to arrive at a text that recognizes this asset, which allows the transaction of this asset in our country and which will be regulated by a government agency. Because we will work with the central bank and the CVM, depending on how this asset will be recognized, such as real estate value or currency of daily use. Now, of course, I don't agree completely with governments taking over. We've already discussed our problems with the Chiva wallet. Of course, that's a first step towards it being fully decentralized. Again, if you have a Trojan horse, This is exactly how it starts. You bring it, you usher it in, you introduce people to it, and then one day they're like, so I could use this without the government if I needed to. And that's sort of where the light bulb goes off, and that's where Bitcoin sort of proliferates without the need of government. But they're just ushering it in because they need it. So it's actually working out for us as far as game theory. Also here, in addition, the financial pyramids with cryptocurrencies as happened in Cabo Frio with Atlas Quantum and the Bitcoin Banco Group, which use technology with the lack of regulation, applied major blows to the country. The law protects the market more in the view of the congressman. So you have to remember that getting these scams out is not necessarily a bad thing. There's good and bad on both sides, but we have to accept this as the beginning, because if people have central power already, you can't just take it away and then say, oh yeah, Bitcoin's gonna take over. That's not how it works. It takes time. This is the first way it enters into markets, El Salvador, now Brazil, and I'm interested to see what our comments think about that. Let's see what we have in here. We got a few more people jumping in. Ali Pio, what's up? Fatima, what's going on with you? Dallas Pipes. Let's see. Sergeant Crypto, what up, what up? Let's see. Sergeant Crypto's right, smash the likes. Satoshi Slim says Brazil is linking with the law to heavily regulated too. Exactly. And Reno Gamble says Brazil building a strong Bitcoin foundation. See, that's the thing. When you start off with Bitcoin, as it is now, is going to be regulated when it comes into a country. That's just how it's going to start. It's the same thing with businesses. When businesses first were using Bitcoin, they were all exchanging it for cash immediately because they were like, well, it's not regulated. I don't know if I should use it or hold it. And then now people have it in their public treasury and are openly saying it. Michael Saylor is buying billions of Bitcoin. So I think countries will start like this, and then people will recognize, I can do this by myself. And then countries will realize, we can use this as a reserve asset. And it'll sort of evolve into the point where people are like, well, I already have my own money. Governments, maybe 20, 30, maybe 50 years from now, governments don't interest me. Because at this point, the way Bitcoin is going, it's just going to more countries. This is not going backwards. I can tell you that right now. So let's see who else we got in here. Kadeem K, someone argued with me that Bcash is going to explode because it's down 95% against Bitcoin. They said, watch when it breaks 1660. Bro, I was hollering. First of all, we got different goals. If your goal is to trade Bcash to get more fiat, you are doing it all wrong. You're trading horseshit for more horseshit, and it doesn't matter what you do with both. That is not our goal here. So Bcash can get out of here. Let's see. Crypto King, boom, gold morning. GOC stopping in on a commercial break on Hex Asians. Show live, have a great show. Wouldn't be a show without Crypto King. Silver Sailor, my man. Let's see. DJ Cryptomatic, Brazil is on fire right now. Exactly. For sure, entertainment, peace warriors, appreciate you. And Che, and we are live. Shout out to Alapio. I believe he says that every morning, sitting with his daughter, but shout out to him. Let's see, Todd Mick, what happened to the Brazilian digital token? Not sure, it may still be going. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing with it. Jiu-Jitsu, crypto, brother, what's up with the second book? Again, because of litigation stuff, had to hold it. It's been shelved, but shipping will commence immediately. And I have a special surprise for everybody who has waited. Free NFTs for anybody who has bought the book, and there'll be more information about that jiu-jitsu. So once I put all that out, the rollout will be beautiful. Let's see. Cliff Charles, I feel like countries are adopting Bitcoin, but will phase into using the blockchain that offers the most DeFi opportunities, which currently is not Bitcoin. That is an argument people have made. The biggest thing is the base layer. What is the strongest base layer? And if, for example, the internet is the base layer, doesn't matter how many websites pop up, they have to use the internet. And I feel like most of these DeFi projects, opportunities, blockchains, they'll be used, but they'll mostly be denominated in what Bitcoin's value is, which we're seeing now. Even if your altcoin has its own blockchain, it doesn't really rise in price or has its own disconnect from Bitcoin. We may see that, but we haven't yet. So we'll see. Let's see, Rashu, down your neck of the woods this week, Zay. Oh man, I'm all over the place, man. I don't know if you're in my neck of the woods or if you really, because I'm traveling, brother. I don't know if you around me. Let's see. Damon King, what's up with Uphold requesting more personal information? Not sure. I haven't had problems with that. I've been on there a long time, so maybe I got grandfathered in. Not sure. Let's see. Selfish Guy, new name for show. Altcoin Express. We'll consider it. I'll talk with King, see what he wants to do. Still, no name for the show, but at the same time, we'll figure it out. Let's see. Johnny Carson and Zay, how the hell you come to Houston and get sick? Again, that was the most random shit ever. Went to Houston, had the event set up, actually 2 events set up for that week. Caught tonsillitis on Monday. Don't know what happened. I just never had my tonsils taken out, got sick. It sucks, but I'll be back to Houston. Definitely got to get back. But let's jump into our Second story for today, a name we have all heard before, maybe have not seen him in the news that much lately. Edward Snowden actually commented here, Bitcoin got stronger despite government crackdowns. The famous whistleblower referenced his statement about Bitcoin from March 2020 during the events of Black Thursday. So Edward Snowden has touted the anti-fragility of Bitcoin despite increasing regulatory scrutiny on cryptocurrencies around the world. Tweeting on Sunday, the former US CIA agent stated that Bitcoin has gotten stronger on the back of government bans and anti-crypto policies. Give it a short hand clap for that, because the more it tries to get banned, the stronger it gets. It's like the honey badger. Honey badger don't quit. We've been saying that for years. And Bitcoin has been dead, I don't know, 500 times, keeps coming back like the Terminator. So Bitcoin at this point is kind of not bulletproof. I wouldn't say nothing can defeat it, but it is pretty strong against the forces against it. And his tweet, it references his remarks back on March 13, 2020, amid the throes of Black Thursday. If you remember that, that was a great day. I'm not even gonna lie. Most people were sad because the price went down 50%. To me, I always say it's not a dip, it's a discount. If your favorite, let's say your favorite food, you go into the store, was 50% off, would you get sad or would you be super excited because you can get double the amount you could before? If you believe in Bitcoin as an asset, that was an exciting time, but they call it Black Thursday. I don't know, whatever. They try to compare it to like stock market falls, but everything went down that day. And he saw the tank amid fears of coronavirus. And since then, he said it's up 10x since, even more than that, actually like 11, 12, despite a coordinated global campaign by governments to undermine public understanding of and support for cryptocurrency. So we've seen governments push back against it. We've seen China ban it 100 million times. We've seen US politicians and people online. We've seen the Peter Schiffs, all those different names we know of people that don't like it. Jamie Dimon, Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett. We've seen them push back against it. Again, this is all part of the fight because, again, of course, at first people don't understand it. Over time, doesn't matter. It's coming regardless. So it says here trading above 47,000 as of press time. The BTC spot price has increased more than 10 times since Snowden's tweet back in March 2020. So about a year and a half, and Bitcoin has 10x, which is something most people's portfolio doesn't do over the course of their life. So the fact that Bitcoin came back from that, even I believe it was a Morgan Stanley employee says Bitcoin keeps coming back like Kenny from South Park. We've said that. I think we did that story last week. So as you can see, it doesn't really matter what you do to the industry. It's going to keep coming. It's a game of whack-a-mole. You can't stop it. Pandora's box has been opened. So shout out to Edward Snowden reiterating that statement and basically saying what we've all believed at this point is that Bitcoin is going to continue. It's just who's going to try to control it and are you going to be a part of it or not? So that is really the only question at this point. Let's jump into some more comments here. Let's see. Iran lifted their BTC mining ban. Good to hear. Jujutsu, thank you for all you do. I appreciate you and King. I talk good about you too all the time. I appreciate you too. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Wealth and Wellness. Anywhere to formally change shipping address for the book? Order way back when? Yes. You can send it to the email here. It's under all of our videos. Send it there and I'll make sure I've added to the list of changed emails. Let's see. Kadeem K. I threw everything but the kitchen sink during that crash. Hey, man, I'm not going to say that I sold a lot of stuff to buy the dip, but I sold a lot of stuff to buy the dip just because I knew at some point people were going to realize the maximum pain that you could feel was that moment at that point. I mean, 50% in a day. Imagine losing half of your assets worth in one day. And most people were panicking. And I was like, this is amazing. This is the best time to be alive. And it was a couple weeks before my birthday. I was like, oh, this is a great birthday gift. That was a great time. Even though the pandemic sucked and, most people couldn't get out and do anything, that was a great time for crypto. Let's see. Reno Gamble, it's a discount. Absolutely. Let's see. Kadeem K. Nah, it's like buying ICP at 500. Talking to Selfish Guy. Quant. Yeah, let's see. Donald Harlan. Edward Snowden is a fraudster. He is not the same person. This is an actor, Fed tool. Yeah, it could be. I mean, again, they turn and flip people way tougher than him. So I wouldn't be surprised. And it's good press that he did turn against the CIA, because as soon as they come back and say, hey, Edward Snowden speaking out against the CIA, it could be a paid shield, man. You never know what these people go through. Let's see. Chappie, what does RZA know about crypto? And he's a scammer. Somebody said, Fanteezy, you should get Brother RZA Islam on the show. I actually want to reach out to him. I actually tweeted that Brother RZA, he talked about Bitcoin alongside gold and silver as alternatives to the current currency because, it feels like the dollar's going to fail at some point. So bringing him on, and somebody say he's a scammer. I don't know about all that. I just heard his comments on Bitcoin. I've heard him talk about some of the restrictions health-wise, how things are kind of screwed up, but I would love to bring him on. And let's see, Chappie still fighting his medical scam suit. All right, well, got to check that out. We'll see. I just want to talk about Bitcoin, see if he could implement it into his community, the Islam brothers and sisters. Maybe they could implement it there, or maybe even a broader community, of course, with Bitcoin in Black America, or with Americans in general. Just because, again, we're talking about the dollar, which affects us all. He can talk about Bitcoin. That'd be dope. Maybe we'll bring him, and I want to bring Cliff High on. That would be great to have them on together. Let's see. Peter Kimbry, what about the Pandora Papers? Yeah, that is actually something that you should consider, especially research-wise. People don't research, man. Most of these people, even if you give them the information, you give them cliff notes of it, they still won't read through it. So there's a lot of good information out there that people can look at to figure it out. So let's see. Renendale, like Denzel, gotta be one of those people that actually get rich when there's a recession. Exactly. Have cash on hand, be ready. And let's see, a few more comments here. Fantizi, I never heard that. Yeah, I haven't either, but again, some people, they may know something I don't. So let's jump into our last story for the day. Going to be a pretty short day. Want to make sure we get this over to you because it has happened. We told you this would happen. When people talk about the Lindy effect of Bitcoin as a currency, starting as a collectible, going to a store of value, moving to a medium of exchange, and on to a unit of account, people have a mental block when they talk about Bitcoin, when they say, well, the medium of exchange era, nobody's going to spend it. Nobody's using it. Who's going to use it on stuff? And I kept telling people, I said, and countries that desperately need it, they're going to spend it first because hyperinflation is worse than the volatility of Bitcoin to them. Second thing is, in countries where they introduce Bitcoin, such as El Salvador and in other countries, once it comes out, what they're going to start doing is giving discounts for goods if you pay with Bitcoin. And as you can see here, El Salvador introduces fuel subsidy of 20 cents per gallon to locals who pay in Bitcoin, because the incentive is you live cheaper if you use Bitcoin. And I kept telling people, me and King have said this over and over, the medium of exchange era will come when prices get so out of hand. Game theory is playing perfectly right now. When inflation gets too bad and prices get too high, those discounts for using Bitcoin will push the mainstream to have Bitcoin so that they can buy goods cheaper, which is the actual promise of Satoshi, a peer-to-peer payment network where people can actually have cheap fees and anybody can have access to it. And then, of course, if goods are cheaper, that means poor people can move up as far as being able to obtain goods. So this is all playing out exactly how we figured, and it's good to see that they will bolster adoption of his government-issued Chivo Bitcoin wallet by offering discounts of 20 cent off per gallon to consumers who use Bitcoin. President Bukele has announced that local consumers can enjoy this reduction in petrol prices when paying using Chivo, and their quote here, the state company Chivo negotiated with the largest gas station companies in our country so that starting tomorrow, their stations will sell each gallon of fuel 20 cents cheaper with Chivo wallet. Glad to see it there. And right here it says those 20 cents will come from all of us, right? The gas station does not lose. There goes the refund after paid with the taxes of even those who walk on foot. So I would love to see how this works out. I would love to see how that discount works, but I'm telling you, this is just a start. You introduce Bitcoin in a country, even in a small community. One thing we've always said is even in a small community, maybe Bitcoin Beach or the Bitcoin embassies that are in Europe, if you introduce in a small community, all of a sudden people can lower the prices because the exponential value of Bitcoin going up. They're like, all right, well, we can give you a discount because we're incentivized to get Bitcoin. Also, too, there's a supply shock in the market. If you don't know, it's going to be after 2024, after that happening, I think it's going to be damn near impossible for regular people to get one Bitcoin or to get Bitcoin in general. It's going to be long wait times. It's going to be, premiums on prices. So the only way businesses are going to be able to get it is to give a huge discount. Hey, please give it to us. Country, same thing. We can go cheap gas. We can give you a discount on taxes. Pay us in Bitcoin. Give it to us. And I think people will accept it, and they will start using Bitcoin if the percentage is big enough. I'm saying I'm talking 80, 90% discounts at a certain point where people are going to be desperate to get Bitcoin, because that's the only way that if they get Bitcoin, then they can buy goods cheaper, because it's just, hey man, it's just a snowball effect at that point. So shout out to El Salvador for that. But again, I just want the viewers to realize that's how we get to the medium of exchange era. And once the medium of exchange era happens, because other countries are actually ahead of us, because we look at it as a store of value, we have a relatively stable currency, but they're actually ahead of us as far as sending, receiving, paying for goods, and using it for their livelihood. They are trying to live, trying to survive. So let's see some of the closing comments we have here. Somebody said, RZA good people. Yeah. That would be fire with Cliff. Yeah, I would love a Cliff High RZA roundtable. Maybe throw some other people in there. Let's see. Cliff High is awesome. Good morning, all. I'm a bit late. Yep, we had him on before. He was amazing then. Let's see. Boban Bree, have you ever interviewed or collabed with Hardcore Crypto? Great. Yes, you can look up our interview. We did it around the time, I believe, when my book first came out. And Great Jabesi, a good friend of mine, actually was supposed to go to the South African event they had, but COVID, of course, canceled that in 2020. So shout out to him. But yeah, we'll link up in the near future. Actually, just was on his channel watching and commenting, talking to him the other day. So shout out to Gray. Reno Gamble, yeah, preach. Definitely. Tony Todd Mack, El Salvador needs to develop some kind of crypto nomad, digital nomad visa. That would be dope. Yeah, that's been floated because there was actually a whole Bitcoin country created at one point. I forget the name of it, but it was in Europe, and somebody was like, if you have a digital nomad visa, you can kind of link it up the same way Estonia. They have like a e-visa where you can go anywhere in the world, and this e-visa will allow you to work, and you only pay taxes to whatever country you call home. That would be great. And I think El Salvador would attract a lot of people there. I mean, the money that's flowing in El Salvador just because of tourism, there are people just going there just to see it work. That's already a good start. And then some people may start staying. So Rendell, like Denzel, the government gave the people free BTC just for them to get it all back. Again, I told you, this is the first iteration. This is not going to go as, super smooth. Of course, the wallet was down the first day. Things happen, but it's the first time it happens, first time ever. So you have to realize it'll get smooth as other countries roll out. They're just watching, and then they're going to take their mistakes and do it better. By the time the 10th country accepts Bitcoin as legal tender, it'll be smooth rollout, and they probably just do an airdrop. And most people won't sell because they'll see the other countries that did, and the appreciation of price will make it so they don't. So Todd Meck, Zay, you should be a consultant for the government of El Salvador. Well, that'd be cool, but I don't know. I don't know if I got enough time for all that. Let's see. Reno Gamble agreed. Western Union puts limits on funds sent here and charge a lot to send money. Oh man, Western Union's done. MoneyGram, Western Union, sending $50 that costs $10 to send. That day is done. And the wait times and all of the harassment with the ID, that's garbage. All that's over. So Justin, from you, Cliff High with Shahrazad Ali and Dr. Umar would be must see TV. That would be amazing roundtable. I kind of want to get together people that are different backgrounds, but kind of have the same viewpoint on how things should go as far as just being super geniuses in their fields, just to see their difference of opinion on certain stuff. That would be great. Let's see. T Breezy, Pieces A, did you come to Houston? Yep, I came. I was there for a week and a half. Would have stayed longer, but got sick and had to leave. So I'll be back. Definitely want to have those two events still. Love Texas. Up until that point, Texas was amazing. Food was great. People were amazing, but good gracious, that took me out for a week. Let's see. Kiani Mason, or first time make Estonia is way ahead of the curve. You are correct. Estonia's had it for a while. I think they've had it since 2014, 2015. Let's see. Kiani Mason, helicopter money didn't have to come in to save the market. Us early tinfoil hatters have the advantage of anything over 1K as a win. Exactly. I remember when I first started, 10,000 was the dream. We was like, man, we all millionaires if we get to 10,000. And people are complaining because we had 47. Like everything is upside down world to me right now. It's crazy. Let's see. TWE prediction for the end of October. I don't really have a prediction for the end of the month, but my prediction for the end of the year is still 220K. So that's still my prediction. I think we'll have a massive Q4. It'll be so many dips and flips and bullshit articles. Make sure you watch the Gentleman of Crypto so you can get that insight so you don't get pushed out the market with some bad news. S1 Dubs, giving BTC gets people's actually using the wallet and sending. Smart move on El Salvador's part. Yeah, good education. People actually see what it is. They're not scared of it anymore. Once it's incorporated, people, you got to understand, when the first cell phones were coming out, there were people scared to use the cell phones because they would say, "Oh, you're gonna get cancer in your ear. Oh man, if I type it wrong, it's gonna send or it's gonna like." People were scared of cell phones, man, and now you can't live without it. It's stuck to you, like at this point. So let's see, Charizard. I love hearing that sister speak. She really goes in. Oh yeah, a lot of big names on there. In all honesty, I think the most productive, beneficial would if you could get Tone Talks on board to see the vision of crypto. I have to check out Tone Talks, don't know who that is. But again, when people talk about getting people to see the light, getting people to see Bitcoin, best thing you could do is keep doing what you're doing, be a good example. People are going to gravitate towards you anyway, and they don't have a choice. That's the best thing about it. They don't really have a choice. So we'll be here no matter what. So a few different announcements. Want to make sure we get out there. The masterclass is still available. Make sure you grab that as well. A lot of great feedback on that. A lot of people are using it, especially as we move into this, I believe, super bull cycle. You definitely want to be on your P's and Q's, have that information at hand. Second thing is, Gentlemen of Crypto, want to float this out there. We're planning it now, but we're looking at having a Gentlemen of Crypto award show sometime in the very near future. So we want to make sure our warriors know once that comes out and we start giving you all the details, we'll definitely make sure you all know. Want to celebrate the people in the industry, have that coming. Also next month, we'll be starting NFT November. So we'll be looking out for some of the best NFT artists in the space, some of the best NFT companies. We'll be interviewing them. We'll be doing our Q&As based on that. So look out for NFT November. A lot of great stuff coming from the Gentlemen of Crypto. Again, the best show in the Bitcoin space. And of course, shout out to our warriors. Still commenting here. Somebody said 200, 300K is definitely possible. You know it. And let's see. Oh yeah, shout out to Fatima. So much great info in the masterclass. Make sure you get it. And Satoshi talking about dust off my tux. Hey, may have to do that, brother. Just want to make sure we have all the people give them their roses in the industry early. So that would be great to have. And again, shout out to everybody watching the show. Make sure you catch us tomorrow. We'll be on live with more news and updates. Cheers.